Hello, my name's Roxanne, and today I'm going to give you a brief lesson, one that I like to share with my students in in any communication class before we really get started. So here we go. So this is about knowing yourself, and the reason I start here is because my personal philosophy is that one cannot begin to appreciate how one interacts with the outside world until and unless you know who you are at your core and what you believe and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm trying to make sure I can see myself and see my PowerPoint. Anyway, so I'm recording this in Screencast-O-Matic, and it's a fabulous tool, and I'm glad I was introduced to it. So today we're going to pretend to be a detective. You're going to look inside yourself and you're going to investigate. Who are you? How do you feel? And what do you value? What do you believe? Okay? So, the first lesson of that is, if you would humor me for a little while, we're going to take about 10 minutes to do this written exercise. I don't care if you put it in your laptop or if you make handwritten notes, old school. Either way, just make sure that you retain your ideas that bubble up for you on these questions. Okay, so first question is, who are you? And in order for you to define that, here's the rule. I want you to start each of your phrases with, I am. I am. And then it doesn't have to be much longer than that. It could be, I am an educator. I am a woman. And so pick your own personal I ams that are important. And remember, don't overthink it. Just write down the first couple of things that come to mind. We're going to work with these concepts a little later today. So then think about this one. This one's kind of fun. What connects you to the earth? What grounds you? What connections ground you to the earth and the people around you? Okay? So by that I mean, are you a mother? Are you a sister? Are you a brother? Are you a team member? Are you a broadcaster? Are you a journalist? These are things that you may think of as things that define you, connections that define you to the earth, right? So think about the things that connect you to the earth. I like to connect it to people because everyone has people in their lives that are grounding for them, right? Maybe you'd go out and be crazy if you could, but you wouldn't because you're thinking about your son and what you mean to your son and what your son means to you. And so it keeps you grounded. So that's sort of what I'm looking for there. See if you can think of those. And then the fifth one, and the next one is write down some statements. It doesn't have to be 5. Let's just say 3 about what you believe. So you're going to say to yourself, Roxanne, what do I believe? And in my case, I usually say I believe that education changes lives. And that's because I've seen it, I've done it, I've witnessed it, I can testify. Anyway, so whatever you feel really strongly about, I believe. I believe in fairness. I believe in honesty. Anyway, I'm just giving you some of the examples. But please feel free to either use what I've said or let those things lead you to things that you're thinking in your head when you think of the term, I believe. Perfect. Okay, thank you for indulging me in that. We will come back to some of those statements a little bit later, but I do want to go on to the next question. Now, whenever I work with adults or people who are mature, I'm mature, by the way, that's the term I prefer, rather than senior or old, but mature. And so they always want to know, students always want to know, why did we do that? What was that about? What was that about? So I'm going to answer that for you, because I know in the back of your mind you're thinking that today. Why did we go through those questions? What was that about? So we can only comfortably communicate when we know ourselves. So before you can reach out and connect with one other person or a group of other persons or speak in front of a gathering of people, you need to know who you are, okay? So that you can be your authentic self. Then you could repeat this process all day if you like. You could also go on to chart what you value. And values are a very interesting concept. In a class I used to have, I had lists of like 50 different values, just one word names: honesty, integrity, faith, hope, God, all these things, all listed as values. And people would go through and pick out their top 20 or their top 10. And it's surprising. You'd be surprised things change. I know I would do it at least quarterly, and mine were always different because I was at a different point in my journey, right? So things I value the most maybe shifted a little in the last couple of months. So being focused on yourself, by the way, is called intrapersonal communication. And so that's what that's all about. And on the task of intrapersonal communication, I do want to talk about the make you aware of the self-talk that goes on in your mind all the time. It is a way that we can affirm ourselves daily. It can be a blessing to us, and it can be a blessing to others. And it can also be a healthy and happy and successful way of living and thinking. What I want to add to that, though, is that not everybody has positive self-talk going on. So if you're sitting in a job interview and you're waiting to go in and you're thinking, I'm never going to get that job. They're not going to like me. They never like me. Then you're giving yourself negative self-talk. So what should you be thinking instead? You're in the waiting room. You're waiting to go in to talk to someone about a job. You've been qualified on paper. You've interviewed on the phone. Now it's your time to go in and shine, right? So think to yourself, I like people, I'm confident, and I'm competent. And when they ask me questions, the right answers are going to just come spewing from my mouth. And I'm going to engage with them interpersonally, and we're going to like each other. And that's how I'll know this is going to be the job I'm going to have. So think those thoughts. I'm good enough. I'm strong enough. I'm great. I'm the best applicant in this room. And so I'm here for a reason. It's because I'm a good fit for the job. Anyway, that's just a little bit about self-talk. There's so much more. And the final thing is, if you're nervous like me, sometimes I go places and I'm nervous. Okay, I'm not really nervous, but so anxious, let's say. I created my own happy soundtrack. And so there are certain songs from my best of times that if I'm sitting someplace and I'm growing anxious, I will play that song in my head, and it helps to relax me and ground me and remind me of better days and better times and resets my mood. Now, I don't care if it's a country western song, if it's rock and roll, if a rap song, whatever it is that you can hear in your head, and it kind of makes you smile a little bit, and you think, yeah, that's my song. Then that's your happy track. All right, thank you very much, and I will talk with you soon. That's the end of class.